everyone. I'm your good friend Wendy, and nice to meet you here. Today we have an interview about the 3D printing filament. And I always change my partner. Today's partner is Jelly. He's a very excellent creative businessman, and he's very familiar with the 3D printing filaments. Yeah, you can say hello here.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Jelly.
Okay, and we have a great honor to invite the Raymond from the Polymaker. Yeah, say hello.
Yeah, hello, the fans of Creality. Here is Raymond from Polymaker. It's quite happy can have a talk with each other here.
Oh yes, and Creality and Polymaker have a partnership in the future. And today we want to talk about the 3D printing filaments. And Jelly, I know you have prepared so many questions for Raymond. Yeah, maybe you can start your first question.
Yes, indeed, we prepared some questions for you. As we all know that different industry has different use of and applications of filaments. So can you just take a brief introduction of filaments and also the features?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe let me divide the material by their performance. So by this industrial way, means the material industrial way, we will divide the material into three categories. The first one is the general purpose material.
Oh, yes.
For example, the typical ones are PLA, ABS, and the PTG. They are most widely used material in filament industry. I think most of the user of Creality should be very familiar with them.
Yes.
We can use them into visual prototyping, functional prototyping, and educational purpose. So the second grade is we will call it engineering material. So in this category, the typical material is polycarbonate, PC, or polyamide. We also call it nylon. So this material have better mechanical and thermal properties. At the same time, they are also on nice cost effectiveness and printability. So the last parts we call it high performance material. The typical material in this part is PPS, PEI, and PEK. They have extremely good thermal and mechanical property, but at the same time, the cost of this kind of material are quite high.
Yes.
And they need very professional industry printer to print them. So this kind of material are mainly used for aerospace and aircraft.
Oh yes, it's very clear.
Yes, it's really a very clear introduction, and I believe our customers will have a deep understanding of filaments now.
Yes, and maybe you can. I also have prepared another questions for you, and I want to know how about the market for the 3D printing filaments. Yeah, you can have a brief introduction.
Okay, so this is a quite big question.
Yeah, it's a big question.
It's not easy. So just I can just share some our own insight on this question. So if we check the data of the filament market, we will find in the past several years the market grow very fast.
Yes.
The annual growth rate is about 20 to 30%.
Oh, 20 to 30?
Yes.
Okay.
So it means this is a very promising market. The second is that if we go a little deeper into the data, we will find a very interesting fact is that from the end user side, most of filament are consumed by customer in Europe and American. But from the manufacturing side, the most famous and the several biggest manufacturers, they are all in China. So by a very roughly saying, we can say that the Chinese produce the filaments and the Europe and the American consume them.
Yes, just Jelly, you can tell your customer.
Well, the market is very promising. I believe our customers will enjoy printing filaments, and also we can have a very bright future.
Yeah, maybe people can consideration enter the 3D printing filament industry. Yeah. After your introduction, and we have a clear understanding for 3D printing filaments, and we want to know the future development for the 3D printing filaments?
Okay, so maybe let me give some keywords on the
Yes.
questions and explain. So the first keywords I will give out is diversity.
Oh yeah,
So,
diversity.
Yeah, so I believe there will be more and more kinds of material on the market in the future. For example, if we go back to the original stage of the filament market, there are only one basic PLA material.
Oh, basic PLA.
Now, even we look onto the PL category, we will find there are more and more material. For example,
Yes.
there are tough PLA, there are matte PLA, silicon PLA, marble PLA.
Oh yeah, it's a different kinds of.
Yes,
Okay.
lots of new material come out in the world, in the market. Yeah, and the second keywords I will give out is the application.
Our application. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So now most of filaments are used by the hobbyists. They are used all hobbyists and students. They use the material for prototyping, for their some educational
Oh, the
purpose.
medicine. Okay.
Yes. But there are not too much filament be produced into the final parts for some serious industrial purpose.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but I think 3D printing is a very powerful tool for production. So the final target of it is definitely the mass production. So the application should be the key words for the future of the filament.
Yeah, of course.
The third keyword I will give out is integration. Now the market, there are a lot of small filament company on the market, but I think in the future with the maturity and the growth of the market,
Yeah.
there will be several, not too much, several giant company come out. And at the same time, with the volume grow up, the cost of filament will decrease. So this is also a great news for our user. So you can buy filament with a lower price and get a good quality product. So
Oh,
I think
yes.
this is the second trend of the market.
Yeah, we trust the material will be better and better for the 3D printing filaments. Yeah.
Yes, as many people know, the raw material of PLA used to be very tight in the beginning of this year. So can you just take a brief introduction and explain why the raw material is so tight and the situation now?
The reason behind the shortage of PLA is that from last year, I think from last year, a lot of companies issued the regulation to limit the usage of traditional plastics, for example, PE, PP, and PET, and at the same time, they encouraged to use the biodegradable material. So this is the reason to trigger the shortage of PLA, because PLA is a biodegradable material, So people use it into the packaging, plastic bag, and also the tablewares.
Oh, so you mean the PLA is environment friendly, right?
Yes. PLA is the most famous, also the most widely used biodegradable material on the world. So for our user, if you print a PLA parts, and if you don't want it, you can throw it into the soil, and after several years, it will degrade into the small molecular, and they are not harmful to our earth.
Yeah, just like this PLA?
Yes. Here is a PLA. It's eco-friendly product. We recommend our user to use.
Yes. Okay, it's very great. It's HP PLA. Yeah.
High performance one.
High performance.
Thank you, Raymond. It's very clear. And usually when our customers will ask us how to choose the filaments and how to identify the filaments.
In terms of choosing filaments, I would like two suggestions. The first one is that we need to make sure the recommended setting of the filament can match the capability of the printer. For example, if you want to print ABS, you need to make sure your extruder can reach the printing temperature of ABS. For example, the general printing temperature of ABS is about 215 to 260. So this is very important because that can make sure the filament can work on your printer. The second one is you can choose the filament on the property you want it will be on your final parts.
Yes.
For example, if you want to print a hook on a very good mechanical property,
Yes.
You can choose top PLA other than the regular PLA. In terms of the second question is that how to identify the material. To be honest, it is very hard.
Yeah, really.
Very hard to
So many brands.
Yes, I think because we are the professional filament manufacturing, so
Oh, yeah.
for our side, we will use a lot of professional equipment to make analyze on filament and to judge whether it is a good filament or not. But for our user, it is
Well, it's
very
really hard to identify the filaments. Yeah,
Yes,
right.
yes. So the only suggestion for our user is that you choose one great brand that you believe in, then keep on buying them. This should be the best strategy for them.
Yeah, I think in this aspect, creativity is the best choice for end users and
Yeah,
also
of course.
our resellers, distributors, and some dealers.
Yeah, this is creative filament.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
This is our high performance PLA.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's a good question and a good answer. We trust our customers will not be confused for the filament selection. So, and I want to know if I buy some filaments and I how to save and protect after sealing.
I think the most key parts of saved or keep the filament is keep the environment dry.
Oh,
For
yeah.
example, a lot of filaments are sensitive to moisture. PRA is not the most sensitive one. For example, nylon, if you put
nylon.
outside, even within several hours, it will absorb a lot of moisture and make it can't be printed. So it is very important to have a dry box to storage the filament even during the printing.
Oh,
So,
yes.
Yeah. From my opinion,
Oh, yeah.
I think the dry box may be the most valuable accessories our user should invest into.
Oh, yes, Jelly.
Yeah, Wendy.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember we have a creative dry box. It's near launching, and the customers will wait for it, and it will come soon.
So we have our own dry box.
Yes, our creative dry box.
Oh, great! And you have, and just now you have speaking the application, and I want to know, do we have some of the special filaments for the special application? Yeah, maybe you can some the examples.
This is a good question.
Yes.
So you know that now the application development of 3D printing technology is still at a very preliminary stage. But I think this is the future of the 3D printing technology. So maybe let me just give two cases. Let us have a brief look into it. So the first case is from the Nike.
Oh yeah, Nike.
Yeah, Nike.
Nike shoes, right?
Yes, Nike shoes. Yes.
It's a famous.
Yeah. Nike launched 3D printing shoe upper at 2018, and this new technology, they named the new technology as the fly printing, and the 3D printing gave the lots of designing possibility
Yes.
of the shoe upper. Also, it let the shoe upper have less weight. As I know that there are lots of Chinese sportswear
yeah.
company. They also invest into this area. I believe in the future there should be more 3D printing shoe on the market, and each one can enjoy this the result of this technology.
Yes.
The second case I want to mention is casting.
Casting.
investment
Oh,
casting.
yeah.
Yeah. So, in American, almost 80% of the foundry, they use 3D printing as a regular tool in their casting process. When the volume is not high enough, they use 3D printing to replace the wax pattern to save the cost and the lead time of mold making. I believe you know that in China there's a lot of metal parts casted every day, right? So I think there should be a very big market here. So
Oh, yeah.
this technology should also have a great potential in China.
Oh yes, and these examples belongs to industry. Yes, and maybe it can apply to the medical, education, and jewelry. Yeah, and so on. And okay, Raymond just have introduced some of the future development market and future and so on for the 3D filaments. Yeah, and we want to know how about to give ours one word to have a conclusion.
Summarize,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Have a conclusion.
Okay, so this is not an easy work, right? So
Oh, yeah.
There's such a bright future of 3D printing that we need to short it into a word. So if let me give a word, I will give the production.
Production. Oh yeah.
Yes. So
Great words.
Yeah. What does that mean? Is that I mentioned several times in past few classrooms that now 3D printing is still at the stage of prototyping, and 3D printing is a very potential tool for mass production. So I deeply believe that 3D printing can be used for mass production in the future, and this future need from the hard work of printer company, material company, software company. We need to work together to give more value to 3D printing. Also, let this technology to
Yes.
bring more value to all people.
Yeah, it's just like a creativity mention and create dreams, create reality and achieve dreams. Yes.
Right.
Okay, how about you, Jelly?
I think creativity paved the way for 3D printers and also filaments.
Oh yeah, great. So thank you very much, Raymond, for your share, and it's very helpful for creativity or customers. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's happy to have this talk.
Oh yeah, and so today's interview will say goodbye, and thank you today's Raymond have shared some of the futures and market and so on about the knowledge about the 3D printing filaments. Yeah, okay, it's time to say bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.